Hello, this is Tread Talks, and today we will be talking about something very specific, California. Now, I've talked about the cities of California before in a previous video, but this time I'm going to talk about the state, like as a whole this time, and not just the cities. Um, the state is pretty diverse with its environments. You got your urban cities like LA and San Francisco. Got your farmlands, especially in more to the south. You got your plain desert wasteland, like near San Diego. And you got, well, your mountains. That's something I'm a little bit more familiar with. Now, California is a very interesting state for those reasons, A lot of regions, a lot of environments, so you don't really see it with other states, which are usually one note, especially like in the Midwest. It's like nothing but farmlands, maybe a small little patch of forests, a couple of urban cities. But with Cali, there's like way more to look at. One of my favorite places to go in Cali is probably uh, where the elephant seals are at. They like to hang out at a very specific, sandy pit area. Uh, you know, Many people go there. It's pretty fun. It's a nice little town, not that far away, with like the best pizza ever, in my opinion. One thing that stands out about this place is that there's this big mansion or castle that was owned by this newspaper guy, and he owned like exotic animals. So one of these exotic animals he had are zebras, and you can still see the zebras every once in a while. And so that's pretty cool. Zebras in California. But like I said, not too far away. There's a cool little town. It's quiet. Not much happens. Some gift shops. Like I said, really good pizza places there. But yeah, that's one part of California. The coast. The coast is always the thing everyone talks about. From LA to Ventura, the coastal cities has always been consistency like. I get why. I get why because the beaches are nice. You can feel the wind. The water's all cool. You can't really beat a Californian beach. Okay, you can't really do that. Other thing I really like about California is the forests are really nice. They're clean. Uh, they're pretty to look at. You got your redwood trees to a little bit to the north, but you also got like more simple forests. Oak trees and all of that. But like I said, they're very simple. The forests in California, they're big, but they're not too crazy. One of my favorite ones was a national park where there's like all these like you're pretty much surrounded by big cliffs and mountains. It's like a pit you go to, and you look high. There's a like you can see forests up there, but it's also a forest down there. It's really unique. It's really unique. Um, and also there's like these two waterfalls that are right next to you. It's like a whole thing. It's a whole thing. It was really fun going to that national park. You know, it was like forest on top of forest. And also, there's also a really good pizza place there. California makes really good pizza for some reason. Um, but yeah, and that's just the tip of the iceberg. Okay, there's many other places you can go in Cali. Okay, and to the more Pacific Northwest of California is pretty unrecognizable. Like you will be mistaken if you think it's like somewhere from like Washington or like Oregon, but that goes with the south of California. Like the more far you go, you might think, "Oh, this is New Mexico. This is Arizona." Nope, still California. Um, for me, well, you probably know where I live by now, but it's very unique. I technically do live in a desert. In fact, there used to be way more desert when I first, moved here. But a lot of it kind of got built out. It's all houses and farms now. But at one point, it was actual desert that I explore a little bit in my free time. There's also a lot of farms. In fact, my city's surrounded by farms, but it's also surrounded by mountains. Everywhere you go, left, right, up and down, there's mountains, and they look really nice. And yeah, that's kind of like that whole region of California, like south to central. It's like these big mountains with forests, snow like everywhere, grasslands. Like every time I go out of city, there's these big ass mountains I go to, like in and out of the city. And there's just all these luscious greens everywhere. There's like a big lakes and stuff. It looks really nice on the eyes. It looks really nice. Um, and yeah, this is just my video talk about like the environments of California. Got a lot of farm, mountain, desert, forests, coastal beaches. It's really cool, really nice. And yeah.